Hey guys, welcome to Smoky Oak Barbecue Company. Tonight we're going to do Crappie Francese. We have some beautiful crappie fillets from an awesome trip that I had this spring on one of our local waters here. I got a lot of good footage. I'm going to take you back and show you a little bit of that trip before we get into this recipe. But the Crappie Francese is basically lightly battered and fried, and then it's just absolutely smothered in a beautiful white wine lemon butter sauce. It is to die for. I'm here to tell you, we're going to do every bit of it on the grill. But first, let's go back and watch a little bit of that crappie catching action. Back again, Sunday morning. I woke up this morning and I was pretty tired, from work and fishing and everything, but man, it's March the 22nd, 3rd, I don't know, somewhere in there. It's springtime. It's time to go fishing, baby. So we are back. We are going to go try it again. We're going to maybe explore some new water today, but first we're going to go hit some of these crappie holes that I've been catching them on. So hopefully it'll be good stuff. Stay tuned, folks. All right, guys, so we find ourselves right back where we left off yesterday, in the same brush pile. So here we go. We're going to get over there and see if these crappies are hungry this morning. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday the wind was blowing out of the north and we had a hard time casting in here because we're trying to cast these little light lures right into the wind. And now we got a wind more or less out of the northeast, and we're going to be fighting it on the trolling motor, but it's a lot cooler today too. It's probably about 48 degrees this morning. Yesterday I think it was about 82 or 83. Welcome to Georgia. Yep, there we go. We're on the board early today, guys. Oh, he pulled loose. Golly, dang it. I got that. I think I got this one hooked up here. Oh yeah, it's a good one too. Yes sir. Oh, now calm yourself, son. I mean, these are not the biggest crappie ever, but they're pretty good size. They are pretty good size. There we go. Feels like a small one. Well, maybe not. I think he was swimming straight at the boat. Definitely not a small one. It felt slack. It felt like there was like a little one was on there, and then all of a sudden it decided, wait a minute, I'm going the other direction. And it got wild. Alright, I'm going to do something that I needed to do a long time ago. I need to retie. I've caught several fish and have not retied. I really hadn't talked a whole lot about exactly what we're doing out here. It's late March, around March the 22nd, 3rd, somewhere in there. And we are fishing for crappie that are up shallow for the spawn. And we're really just targeting shallow brush piles. And there again, we're not throwing crappie minnows or crappie jigs at all. We are throwing this little cotton cordell, and I'm gonna finish my knot. A cotton cordell lipless crankbait. I don't know the color matters. This one's silver with a blue back. I've probably got 3 or 4 other colors that we've thrown and they eat it. So there again, we're not really, I'm not really a crappie fisherman. I'm just a bass fisherman that has found crappie while bass fishing, and I love to eat them so much, so I just sit down on them and start catching them. But we're throwing this little cotton cordell on a St. Croix Mojo bass, 7-foot medium light. This is actually the rod and reel that I use to Ned rig for bass fishing. Shimano Sahara, the 2500 series reel. We got Cigar Smackdown, 20-pound braid, and about a 4-foot fluorocarbon leader that is Cigar Red Label. This is actually 8-pound. I would prefer to use 6-pound for crappie fishing, but like I said, I'm really set up to bass fish, so the line size doesn't seem to matter. I mean, it probably would if I was using like 12 or 17 pound or something, but 8-pound works good. So let's get back out there. All right, here we go. Here we go. My plan today is to try to catch as many right here as I can, and then maybe go up the lake and see if I can find some more. And then I'm gonna try to get out of here about noon today, because it's supposed to be rain moving in and it's gonna be cold all day. But we're sitting out here in about 18 foot of water, but we're throwing up into like 5 feet of water. And there's a big brush pile over here. We're just targeting all out in front of the brush and all out this direction, in all directions all around it. It's like these crappie just lay up in this brush and run out to eat bait fish, or in my case, my lipless crankbait. Sometimes you'll catch them right at the boat, but I'm convinced that they're chasing it down and then eating it right here, because I'm not marking fish on my fish finder out here, so I don't think they're hanging out here. They're just hiding in that brush. Oh, there we go. Man, these suckers, they feel great on this medium light rod. I'm really crazy for boat flipping these things. It's a bad idea, to be honest with you. Easy now. They don't call them paper mouth for nothing. Feels like a good one, man. It is a good one. Nice. Very nice. Well, guys, that's number 15 going in the box. The wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. We're gonna get out of here. Guys, we have had an incredible couple of days of crappie fishing. Yesterday and today has been phenomenal. I love crappie fishing. I'm a bass fisherman and I love to bass fish, but man, when I start catching these jokers, you know why I like to catch them so much? Because I like to eat them. So we got to get home. We got a lot of fish to clean, get them on ice, and dream up some really good stuff to cook with them. So I'll see you back at the barbecue shack. Okay, before we get going, I'm going to run through my essentials for filleting fish. Number 1, my trusty fillet knife. Number 2, I have my fillet board. It has a clip on it to hold them tight. Now, a lot of people don't use that. I really like it because it keeps the fish from slipping and sliding around. I think it's a little safer. That cutting surface is not as slick as maybe this plastic. I have my bowl of ice water with sea salt. That's to soak the fillets in for a couple of hours. prior to cooking them, or sometimes, of course, we'll freeze them. So before we do that, we'll soak them in the ice water for just a little bit. Got a dish towel to keep the cutting surfaces and our hands nice and clean. We have our gut bucket. We have our cooler full of nice cold crappie. And we have our water hose. Those are the essentials. Okay, we are ready to get going. So let's grab a nice crappie here. And there again, this is the way I do it. Maybe not everyone does it the same way. Not saying my way is right and yours is wrong. This is just the way I do it. Make a cut right behind the head. Then I start at the tail, and I take care to stay over top of the top and bottom fins. Cut forward. There's a fillet. Flip it over and repeat. Another key, in my opinion, to having your best quality is to get these things really cold. I even let them sit in ice overnight for two reasons. Number one, so they get really cold, and number two, because I didn't feel like cleaning them yesterday when I got home. All right, so I got the fillets removed, so now I'm going to skin them. So I just stick it back in there and just start as close to that skin as I can. Make one smooth cut, boom. Paper thin, skin's gone. Do the same thing on this one. Just like that. And then we're going to remove the bellies, the ribs right here. So you can see the top of the ribs. You just cut right down along the edge of that. So there's your fillet. Pretty as can be. Put it in the ice water. Take the belly off of this guy. Boom. On to the next one. Okay, so to our 2 chimneys of burning charcoal, we are going to add a piece of apple wood. I started to put another piece in there, but I think that'll be good. That apple wood will give it a really good flavor. So we will carefully put our cooking grate in place, and we'll get ready to get our cast iron skillet on there. Okay, so the idea here is to dip these fillets in an egg batter and some flour, and then we are going to lightly fry them in just a little bit of olive oil in the iron skillet on the grill. These are beautiful crappie fillets. Look at that. Just, in my opinion, one of the best fish, if not the best fish that swims around. I am a bass fisherman at heart, but I absolutely love to catch crappie. You know why I like to catch crappie? Because I like to eat crappie. So we are going to start out, we're going to season these fillets with a little bit of our Smoky Oak Barbecue Company Luna Del Mar seafood grill mix. And we don't have to put a lot. We're just going to give them a light coat on both sides. And you could do this after you batter them. I like to do it now because it seems to stick a little better on the dry fish before it has been immersed in the other, the other ingredients. I know, granted, you're going to lose a little bit when you put it in the egg wash, but that's okay. So flip them over. Give them all just a little sprinkle on this side. Something like that. All right. So we have 6 eggs that we have beaten, and we are going to add some shredded Parmesan to this egg wash. And you want to put enough so that it gets really thick. So just sprinkle some in there, use a whisk, to whisk it up. And what I got going on there is a little bit thin, so we'll go in there with some more. And you're looking for a consistency that's like almost like pancake batter. Maybe not quite like pancake batter, but just shy of that. We're getting pretty thick there. All right. Put that to the side. So then we're going to take our crappie fillets and we're basically just going to dip them in some flour. And then we're going to go in to the egg and cheese wash and get them coated on both sides. And I usually do a couple at a time. And while this is going on, I'm going to get my cast iron skillet on the fire. As you noticed, the fire is burning. I don't know if you can see the smoke or not, but get that. We're on a medium fire. You don't want to be too hot. But we're going to get our cast iron skillet on there and put just a little bit of olive oil. Let that get warm, and we'll start cooking these babies. Okay, so we're going to add just a little bit of olive oil to our skillet. And there again, we do not want very much at all, just enough to cover the bottom. So when you put the fish in there, it's sitting on a layer of olive oil and not touching, you know, the skillet. The skillet can't be dry, it needs to be oiled. So just like that. And once that gets hot, we'll put our first batch in. All right. We're going to put our first batch in there. And if you remember, I said a second ago, only do a couple at a time. I feel like they do the best when you bring them right directly out of the egg and cheese dip right into the hot grease. I don't think they do very well if you try to, you know, dip them and batter them and then set them aside. You're better off just do them one at a time. We're going to put them in there, and they're going to go for about 1 minute to 2 minutes per side. We're going to flip them over and repeat. All right, let's give them a little flip. Oh yeah, perfect. Lightly browned. That's a key too. You only want to let them go and just until they brown, because if it burns it, it's not going to be good. And fish fillets like this don't take very long to cook. Okay, we got batch number 1 coming off. Just put them in this pan so we can hold them warm while we do the rest of them. Oh, they look amazing. And here we go again. Okay, so it's time to make the lemon white wine butter sauce. And we're going to do that bit deglazing this pan, but we have a little bit too much oil in there right now. So I'm going to pour just a little bit of that out. Okay, so now we just have a trace of our olive oil remaining. And we're going to go in here and we are going to roast 2 cloves of garlic. And we're going to let that go for a couple minutes just so it's roasted. All right, then we're going to go in there with a 1/2 cup of white wine. So we will deglaze the pan with that white wine. Next up, we have 2 cups of chicken broth that we're going to add to the mix. All right, we're going to let that butter melt, and then we'll give it a nice stir. All right, as that butter melts, we're going to switch over to a whisk and use a whisk to mix all this stuff together. Okay, we have here, I don't know how much that is, 1/4 cup of chopped parsley, something like that maybe. We're gonna add that in there and whisk it in. That was fresh parsley from our herb garden here at our house. All right, so now we're down to one of the most important parts. This is 2 fresh lemons that have been juiced, but we're not gonna add all of it at one time. We're gonna put in maybe about 1/4 of it at a time and taste it. And we're gonna keep adjusting it until we get it perfect. And only you're gonna know how you like it the best. Same way with me, I don't know. But I'm gonna keep tasting it and adding until I get it just right. Now, of course, before I taste that, I'm gonna let that simmer. Not really simmer, it's not really simmering. I'm just gonna let it sit there on the heat and kind of just all get happy all together. All right, let's take a little taste of it and see what we think. I definitely think it needs some more lemon. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with about another 1/2. Stir that in. And notice I'm going really slow with the lemon because you can absolutely overpower this if you're not careful. Alrighty. So our lemon wine butter sauce has been basking in this heat for just a little while. And I'm gonna give it one more flavor test here. And by the way, I wound up putting all 2 of my lemons, my freshly squeezed lemons, into this sauce. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off the heat. Okay, so here we have our beautiful lemon white wine butter sauce. We'll let that cool just a minute, and we're gonna go ahead and assemble our Crappie Francese. Okay, we're ready to serve up a platter of this, and I'm here to tell you right now, it looks and smells amazing. So we got us a nice crappie fillet. We're gonna take some of our lemon wine butter sauce, drizzle over that. We also made a little pasta. My wife loves pasta. Myself, I just want the fish and the lemon wine butter sauce. But if you like pasta, this is the way to go. And we'll put just a little bit of fresh parsley on there for a garnish. And a lemon to squeeze on there. And there you have it, guys. Hey, there it is. What do you think about that? This is an incredible recipe. You could do it with all your fresh fish. You can do it with chicken. You can do it with beef. You can do it with venison. The possibilities are endless. It's not that hard to do. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy what we're doing on our channel. If so, please subscribe to us. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you think. And hey, we'll see you next time.